Welcome back to another rebuild here on Madden 24, and today is a new one, a team that is supposed to be really good, but so far has not been, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that in Madden is still very talented. I expect a couple of roster drops, overall drops soon enough, though, as honestly, specifically this offense, I don't know if there's a single player that is playing well. Jamar Chase is still Jamar Chase, but even he's not playing as well as we're used to. You look across the board, and I'm trying to think of a player right now that is playing up to standard or what we expect from them, let alone, the standard of the NFL. Joe Burrow is, got paid, and then, what's happening there? Now there's an injury, and I mean, this is an offense that we thought, okay, it's unguardable. 3 best receivers in the league, a good running back, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, an offensive line that's still not where they would want it to be, but it's good enough, and it's just been terrible. And then looking at the defensive side of things, especially against the run, hasn't been great, and I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. Trey Hendrickson's still really good, though, and Awuzie, he was a really good signing for them, and Logan Wilson, and the linebackers are still decent enough. Cincinnati hasn't really had good linebackers for some time, but this group of linebackers is definitely the best they've had in a long while. Daxton Hill, a part of that safety group that was supposed to be so good, and just really haven't seen it from them. And overall, it's just a team that is nowhere near playing to their standards. And yeah, we're going to be rebuilding them. Now, I'm debating right now if I want this to be a fantasy style where I just try to go for a dynasty, or we do a regular rebuild, see if we can win a Super Bowl. I haven't really seen the Bengals win too many Super Bowls. They get close a few times, but I don't know how many they've actually won. I might do a fantasy. It's been a while, when we first started doing rebuilds, it was all just fantasy style, and then I was like, you know what, I actually kind of like the more realistic style, and like 90% of my rebuilds, started turning into just realistic style rebuilds, and, as much as I love that, and that's the way I like to play the game now, it's still fun to do a fantasy here and there, so I think we're going to turn this into a fantasy, which, we're still going to have to play into the salary cap, so it's not like we can trade off Burrow or anything like that. Would love to get value from Boyd, but if he had a 10 mil penalty, would I be able to trade him? I don't know. But right now, we're going to try and make the very best roster possible, trading players at will whenever we feel like it, not re-signing players that are going to be expensive that we, would never see traded in real life. Whatever we can do to win. So kind of like a speed rebuild, but long-term, as those speed rebuilds usually don't result in a Super Bowl win anyways. But basically, this is going to start with trying to get rid of players that we're going to have to pay that we don't think are worth it. And like I said, Boyd is clearly one of those guys right now. So that's probably one of the first players we're going to be looking to trade for or trade away. And if you guys like more fantasy style rebuilds, maybe let me know by leaving a like, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a ton of realistic style rebuilds. We do a couple of, fantasy style rebuilds here and there, challenge rebuilds typically. But yeah, this isn't really what we normally do. And I keep clicking the wrong thing while trying to speak. I'm going to go to this team salaries and see who is going to need a contract and see if we can get some value for them, maybe mix up the roster. Knowing me, this is probably going to end up in a disaster. I think a guy like DJ Reader, assuming the penalty's not high, which it's not that high, is someone you trade. I think he's a great run stopper, but he's 29 years old. He's only star. I think you can get quite a bit of value for him, even if he is still only star. Jonah Williams, I don't know if it says we can save some money. He's still somewhat young, so maybe we can trade him off. Obviously, Boyd's going to be gone, and, basically you get the gist, right? If their penalty's low and their value is high, they are gone. All right, I don't know if this is great value, but Boyd, a 6th and a 7th this year for a 2nd from the Rams. I also noticed in our speed rebuild we did maybe a week or two back, I don't even know how long. It's probably been a lot longer than that by now. I don't even know. But it seems like trades are a bit harder this year. He's a 28-year-old star dev, 82 overall. So it's not like we just lost, T. Higgins for that trade. But still, I felt like we could have maybe gotten more, but we didn't. Joe Mixon's not bad in sim, but at 27 years of age, if I can find a running back that's, not that old, I would absolutely go for it. Maybe we can try to get like a Pacheco or something. I'm not really sure how good he is in sim, but someone a little bit younger perhaps would be who I would hope to get. And I consider that a win. Straight up, Joe Mixon for ETN. 3 years younger, you could use him for another 5 or 6 seasons, whereas in Madden, Mixon's got 2 to 3 max. So, I mean, I maybe could have looked for someone exactly the same overall, and the game would have maybe got tricked by it. But, you know, Travis Etienne looks very, very good here, so I do not mind that trade. Realistically, the only other guy that would have been, like, almost exact, maybe Kenneth Walker, actually. I really wish I had Joe Mixon back just to see what Kenneth Walker's ability is. Let's try to trade Etienne for Kenneth. It's definitely not going to go, but I am, you know, kind of curious to see how far away it is. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. To be fair, Etienne maybe was just a little bit easier. I kind of want to force the trade, though. I know I've already made the trade. I'm not going to, like, go back on it, but I'm just curious to see would it have went. I'm just curious, so I'm gonna do it, I think. So in fairness, you know, we wouldn't have gotten him anyway. So that's makes me feel a little bit better. I'm kind of curious just to see now the draft picks. I'm just making more work for myself. So where would a 4th put us? Okay, so it looks like we'd have to give up more than a 2nd for this trade. I can live with the decision to go for ETN then. You know, I'm just a little, you know, because I'm a little worried because ETN doesn't have the trucking that, you know, Joe Mixon has, but we're kind of building this team for a little bit more of a long haul as, you know, with the offensive line and some of the holes on defense. I don't think this is a 1-year Super Bowl team, so that's why, you know, we're trying to build up the youth a little bit and, you know, get some players that'll be here a little bit longer than, you know, guys like Mixon or, you know, Reader even, you know, just a couple more years. I think we need like 2 to 3 minimum because, right, we're trying to go for a dynasty. Don't think a 29-year-old star development trade DT is going to be around for a dynasty personally. No, don't get me wrong. We did have to give up a high 2nd as well, but I think this is a massive trade. DJ Reader, a 2nd this and a 6th next year. That 2nd is from the Rams for Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, and Dawson Knox, filling 3 positional needs. I know we technically downgraded at DT, but Ed Oliver is 4 years younger, still has a little bit of development, and I believe they paid him quite a bit significantly in real life, which means they're going to be footing the bill on that, and we will not be. As you can see, we're basically going to be paying $10 million per year over 5, but none of it's going to be guaranteed. And that might even be less than that. It might just be factoring in the salary cap that doesn't exist, or the dead hit that doesn't exist because we know the trade. BJ Hill is still technically tradable. We'll see what we can do there. But so far, so good in my opinion. You know, we lost Boyd and Reader for Dawson Knox, an 83 overall tight end. Greg Rousseau, a true edge with potential down the line, and then a younger DT. I think that's easily 1-to-1 with high upside. All right, this wasn't the best trade we've made. We traded Cam Taylor-Britt, Irv Smith, and Evans with a 7th round for Brian Branch. He's only 2 years younger than Cam Taylor-Britt, but I still think just because he is 2 years younger, and once again, we're kind of starting over, it's a rookie deal contract, whereas Cam Taylor-Britt, you know, he's already played 1 season. I think this isn't a great trade for us. I could easily just put Cam Taylor-Britt at safety. That's kind of what, you know, I imagine he moves around a lot anyways, but I went with the younger name just because I could, and that was really the best value. There was only 3 teams, you know, involved. I tried to get, you know, Gardner Johnson, was nowhere near, you know, Ragnow, nowhere near, and all the other teams were really bad teams that just had nothing but draft picks to offer, so like I said, not our best trade, but it's still kind of a win. You know, he's not as good as Cam Taylor-Britt, but once again, 2 years younger. In a user league, I would never do it, but speed doesn't really matter in sim, so it is what it is. Daxton's going to go to free safety, and Branch is going to stay at strong. All right, this was a little bit of a trade. I don't know the value there for the guard, but Hilton, Sample, Scott, and a 5th round pick for Tevin Jenkins. I went for the lowest offer I could go, and that was the lowest they would take. Tevin Jenkins has some experience at tackle. Not the best player in the world, but good enough. Pretty decently rated. You know, 25 isn't the youngest in the world, but couldn't get Braxton, couldn't get Darnell Wright, so it was the best I could do, honestly. All right, 2 4ths, a 5th, and a 6th with Kappa for Landon Dickerson. A massive drop in age, which is, you know, once again, our goal here. So now we have, 3 solid starting linemen. Obviously can't do anything about Orlando Brown, but he's at least a good overall, so that's fine. So we have 3 solid starting linemen. I still want to get rid of Jonah if anyone's interested. So 1, 2, 3 starting linemen. We could still trade off like Ted Karras and whatnot. I don't know what our salary cap situation is looking like, but I would hope that any dead hit we took would be offset by some of the big salaries we dropped and the fact that some of these guys are already paid. guys like, I think Dawson Knox even, but Ed Oliver and whatnot, but we'll see. Continuing the trades. Jonah Williams for a 4th and a 5th round pick, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to pay him, so it's that or free agency anyways. All right, another lineman. This one's a little bit easier to explain because we're getting a 24-year-old star dev lineman trading off a 30-year-old normal and like basically just a 4th. It was pretty much nothing, which now puts us with 4 linemen. Tevin Jenkins probably goes back to tackle, and we could use a center, but we could always just use Volson for now and just draft one because O-line's not that hard to get, so I don't want to keep focusing so hard on that position right now. So it's a bit of a wild trade, but Hubbard, BJ Hill, and Keem Davis Gaither with a 5th round 2 years from now for a high 2nd for the Cardinals this year, a 5th this year, and Owen Papau, who is insanely fast, is going to be playing that left outside linebacker spot. Not sure there's much more I can do. I've got Miles Murphy playing DT just because he's a 275-pounder. Isn't really DT, but you know what? I'm going to use him there because it's either that or trade him, and I don't really feel like trading him personally. Would I say I made the team better? Probably. I would probably say that because we got younger at a lot of spots, and the offensive line, especially longevity-wise and like making the team better, long-term goes, definitely took a huge step forward. The edge is better as well, and some positions went down, but overall, I think it was positive. Linebacker would be going for the biggest need on the team. Cornerback, maybe because Awuzie is a little bit on the older side. DJ Turner, we definitely dropped the cornerbacks a little bit, but we only really need to, so that's why I did that. And obviously, the safety's going to move over to free and all that good stuff. And here is the roster. Center's definitely going to be needing to be replaced. Tight end we'll see about. Running back we'll see about, as we don't know about running back specifically. Sim is so random for that position. You just never know who's going to make it. Linebackers, we might need to replace all 3 in fairness. DT, maybe the 2. Cornerback wouldn't hurt. But everything else, I think, is in a pretty good spot. Although we don't know about all the contracts. So we'll see what happens with the money going forward. But, yeah, that's basically the plan for now. All right, $85 million. We can get T. Higgins, which we definitely want. A 6-year 96, which is okay money. He's probably a 20 mil per year type of guy, and that's obviously a lot less than that. Awuzie might be let go, so there'll be a loss of asset, if you will, because we're not going to get anything for him, but I think that's the smart choice. Jamar will be a tag. Rousseau will be a guy we just re-sign, and ETN should also be another guy we re-sign. But yeah, I don't know about Awuzie. He's pretty good, but 28 years old, star. His overall is not going to go up much more, but I think he'll be good for at least another season. So if I can get him on like a 1-year 12, I'll probably do up to like a 1-year 13 or 13.5. But other than that, I think I might have to let him go then. So not the perfect season, but should be good enough for the playoffs, and it is with an 11-6 finish. Not a great start out the gate. Didn't change the schemes or anything like that because the Bengals playbooks, I think, are decent in the game, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously a very good finish on the year, which is really the main thing that matters, obviously, finishing strong. But let's take a look at the stats, see what's different, because we did technically make some of the team worse, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel like Joe Burrow puts up these types of numbers often. I don't think many quarterbacks in the game do that anymore. 47 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on just under 5,000 yards. Rushing, nice. ETN with a good season. Not an elite season. I do want to see what Joe Mixon was up to. Probably better, right? Yeah, a slight bit better, but considering the age difference, we do not hate that at all. And then looking at receiving, Jamar Chase was amazing. Higgins was pretty damn good. Charlie Jones was really good considering his talent level. And then Knox, 9 touchdowns, 564 for yards. Not great, but kind of expected that from the Bengals scheme. Offensive line is actually pretty good. Pass rush, please tell me it's decent. Ed Oliver with 8 sacks. How is Ed Oliver leading the team in sacks with 8? Miles Murphy at 7. Rousseau at 5. And then 2.5 for Hendrickson? EA, do me a favor, please. Kicking, punting, pretty decent. What about the interceptions? Kind of came back to this. Okay numbers. I need to see more from the pass rush. This Madden has been so brutal for that. I get there's a lot of elite rushers that, don't even get to double-digit sacks because, pressures are what matters the most. MVP Burrow, not a surprise there with those numbers. Charlie Jones is the Rookie of the Year over a quarterback. It was a great year, in fairness. It is deserving, but still shocking me. Glad we kept him. Jamar Chase was still the best wide receiver, though. And, I'm impressed. I am absolutely impressed, especially with Charlie Jones. I kind of want to change the defense, though. The Dallas defense wasn't great for me. I'm trying to think of teams that are good in real life that have a 4-3. Isn't Philadelphia 4-3? What about Philly? This seems like a scheme that's going to get a bunch of players a decent bit of sacks, but no one's going to truly go off. But we'll see. Oh, no, I can't go Philly because they're going to have the outside linebacker rush 24/7. All right, going to the end of the game. The Tennessee Titans have a 5 overall less difference with us, yet they are absolutely doing everything they can to win this game. Up by 3 at half, up by 6 at half, down by 1 now after the touchdown. The touchdown with a 2-point gives us a 7-point lead. They get a field goal, and we will hold on for the 35-24 victory. The Titans giving us a little bit of a run when they don't really have the roster to do it right now in game. Joe Burrow definitely not as good as his regular season stats, but that's how the playoffs work, baby. ETN, okay numbers. Looking at the receiving, Higgins killed it. Glad we paid him, let me tell you that much. Looking at the sack totals, 2 for Jeffrey Simmons, Murphy and Oliver. The only 2 guys doing anything. How is their run game, by the way? Okay, so that kind of tells me that weight absolutely does not matter when you're simming. I honestly wonder if it even matters. It'd be really hard to tell because, there's just so many different random elements. But wonder if it even matters at all when, oh my lord, he's been a speed rusher. When talking about, in-game play. Because, in theory, weight should matter. I'm going to have to release or drop his... Can I change his ratings here? No? I'm going to have to try to drop his finesse because we do not want him being a speed rusher. And as much as Myles Murphy is a pass rusher, we are going to upgrade his block shed because, they're going to, keep upgrading his pass rush ability anyways. Charlie Jones, slot is what I actually like for, a slot receiver. But we're going to go deep threat, just get that release up a little bit if we can. Gets 1. Holy crap, it's terrible. I know that physical apparently is the best for release, but I get a lot of +2, +3s from deep threat, and I think deep threat in general is a better upgrade point anyways. But yeah, let's fix Owen, even though they probably wasted a lot of his abilities so far. 71 overall and, no block shed or zone coverage at the moment. So that's a little bit of an L, but let's just drop that finesse, make sure that his archetype is the one we want. So anyone wants to complain about this, they can complain all they want. I'm not upgrading any player. I'm just lowering them. This is a, well, I don't want to lower it that much. I'm gonna lower it down to 68. There we go. But this is a laziness measure placed because I do not want to upgrade every player manually. It would take literally hours. The Raiders. Okay, we can win this. This is winnable. I don't know if we will, but it's definitely winnable. Raiders do have some pretty good individual players, though, even if they're missing the whole squad. Going to the end of the game, 7-0. We always give up the first score. 7-3. It's not looking good. 10-3. Their defense is looking pretty elite. We get a touchdown, but it was a struggle to get there. Down by 7. I don't like that at all. Come on, Bengals. Wake the F up. That's going to be a GG. 5 minutes left, and we can't move the ball against this defense. Who exactly are their corners that are even going to come close to stopping Jamar and T. Higgins? Who? Who? One corner that's not even close to the same rating? And, of course, Diablo sees it without even ever actually looking. Turns to Burrow has over 100 yards. Barely. There's just... I get it. Maybe the pass rush is causing the issues for Burrow and company. But, other than that, there's just nobody that's on that coverage unit. Please, Jamar. Oh, my God. That would have been an insane catch. Doesn't happen. We lost. And then they smoke our defense. Okay, I guess. It's not like we have the literal better top-to-bottom roster at 99% of the positions. Better quarterback than them. They have the better running back. We have the better receivers. We have the better offensive line. We have the better corners. We have the better D-line. debatably better kicker. It's pretty even. I mean, there's not really anything they have us better on other than running back, yet they won by 17. I mean, and when we talk about we have better than them at the positions, it's by a lot, right? Like, their wide receiver 2 is nowhere near Higgins, whereas Jamar Chase is very close to Devontae. Tight end, Dawson Knox is better right now, obviously. Quarterback is 1,000 times better, based on ratings. It's like 99 overall versus like 80. It's so stupid, but EA will get what EA gets, which is, stupidly unrealistic Sims. The Raiders make it to the Super Bowl. Of course they do. And they lose by 7 to the Eagles. I mean, to even come that close is surprising. Let us take a look if we had any dev ups. Charlie should be a dev up. Oh, did Charlie go double up? I think he doubled up because he was normal, right? Star into superstar. Somehow only gets 1 upgrade point, though, which is ridiculous, but fair enough. 2 to catching, no release there, but it is what it is. No one else on offense. Doesn't surprise us, though. That was pretty expected. And then looking at the defense, actually some pretty big dev ups, as Ed Oliver's a superstar, huge dev up. And then Awuzie, not a huge dev up, but at least it, solidifies the decision to pay him that 1 extra year. I got him a 1 year 13. I don't know what I just said. And then Ed Oliver, obviously trading, Reader basically for him and some other stuff. Totally worth it in the end, and he had a pretty good season. All right, they're still saying we have money. I think the Jamar Chase contract's fair, I guess, the 5th year, because it would have costed us the same anyways. Rousseau, it's at least that, if not more, but I debate because he's star right now, do I not just try to pay in the long term? Because usually Rousseau is amazing in sim, and it might just be the Bengals scheme on defense, which I guess I'll change, try something new. I think I'm just going to try to re-sign the 2 players here rather than give them the 5th year option. So I think we'll save money here, whereas Jamar Chase, it's going to be at least 30 mil per anyways. Don't think free agency would be a smart investment. Josh Allen, finally a superstar. Almost debate maybe trading Rousseau and then getting Josh Allen. It'd be interesting, but 21 mil per year is a lot. Delpit would be a decent decision. I'm going to look at our safety situation. I think we're fine, though. So I think we're just going to let free agency go and just do the draft, which even that probably don't need much. All right, here we are in the draft. I don't even remember if I have a first-round projected player. I do not. I really don't know who to go for. I kind of like Glenn Peel. He's not the best in the world, but he's the best corner that we can get. The problem is that left side, solid speed, solid acceleration. I basically just scouted him based off that man and zone coverage. I don't know if I actually want him. This corner, this safety cannot play corner. I don't know why I said that, but we can maybe move Brian Branch to corner. He's not the most athletic guy. I don't really see him as a boundary guy, but it's Madden. This is our fantasy style. Wow, tight end number 1 overall. That's interesting, by the way. He might be a generational then. But it's a fantasy style rebuild, so whoever, is literally safety corner level can play there. And, at this point, I would imagine Brian Branch still has pretty good man coverage over his zone anyways. This is a terrible trade, but it is only moving back 7 spots. I don't hate that from the Raiders, even though I hate the Raiders for stealing our draft spot. Or not our draft. Oh, this is way better. Stealing our playoff spot is what I meant. But we move back 5 spots, gain a 4th this year. Even if it is late, I am down with that. You get to 32, so we could have easily just, taken a player here and had that 5th year option, but I don't know if we really need it anyways. I just want the most value I can get. The Falcons trade is okay because we're getting a 3rd back. I think 43 is fine. I think in the top part of the 2nd round, you can still pretty much get anyone you want that's a 2 to 3, which is why I like to stay in that top 10 spot, which of course is 11 on the nose. Why wouldn't it be? You know what? I think I am going to take Everett Isaac, the free safety. Hidden development trait, 91 speed, 92 excel. We love to see it. I just hope the linemen we're going to end up taking are also hidden, because if they are, I might actually trade off our tackle. Mr. Tevin Jenkins needs a contract. He's 26 already. He played a really good season, though, so that's the reason why I kind of would want to keep him. But overall, I think it's just not paying a guy that's that old. This guy's a little hefty for a tackle, but Mark Madden, if he's hidden, could play tackle. And he is. So that's our new right tackle. That center you could see with all those A's and looks really good is probably going to be our center. So we can trade off Tevin Jenkins maybe for, well, I'm going to try to get whatever I can, obviously, but maybe for a late second, early third here in a moment. We need linebacker as well. Darby looks very fast, but I think Devin Abrams, who I scouted further, is definitely better. It's a little bit of a reach now, if you will say, because he's a 3 to 4, but, you know, very athletic. I'm going to grab him. 3 to 4 could be like, well, that kind of sucks. The top, like, 5 spots in the third round, so, you know, I guess it makes sense. Let's go to the start of the next round and then see what we can get for Tevin Jenkins, ironically enough, from the Bears. All right, so we can get a third and a fourth back for him, which is not bad. I don't remember what we even traded for him, but he was actually really good. It's just, you know, the draft changed things. So there we go, a third and a fourth back that are very high third and fourths, to be fair, for Tevin Jenkins, which I think now we will probably, like, Peel's still there, even though he's slow, does intrigue me. Probably go with Glenn Hall, who has several A's and looks very good. So Glenn Hall projected to be our center now. Please be hidden. Nice. It's usually the guys that look so clear-cut that are not hidden, but this time that is not the case. There is still a couple of other good linemen, so I want to check to see if our other guys are kind of chilling. Landon Dickerson needs a contract, but he is very elite, so I want to keep him. Quinn Miners needs a contract. A little bit worse off. Maybe we still draft another lineman just to give ourselves options, but don't technically need one. But I'm glad that we got the younger, right tackle and center now, so we aren't paying, like, all freaking real-life, contracts, 10 mil per for offensive linemen. I want another linebacker, but there's still a lot here, so I'm going to move down. Well, not move down, because we don't even have a draft pick, but move along. One of the teams nearby stole our linebacker. Holy crap, 6'5" linebacker this late. Probably a pass rusher. Stole our linebacker. We have 2 linebackers remaining. I don't know who I'm going to go for. 22-year-old speed demon Brian Good. We don't know a whole lot about him, though, but we're going to move on here to Nick Darden. Also 22, a little bit faster. The speed always kills. Hidden development trade. I don't know what the other linebackers like, but we are happy with it. Hell, maybe we're about to find out what the other linebackers like because we have another pick right here. Maybe we're going to grab him. Texans have a couple of picks more. He's still there. You know what? I kind of want Kevin Pierce. 6'4", 292, a little bit of strength, a little bit of speed, a finesse. Welcome. Hidden development trait. Now we got an argument with Miles Murphy. All right, let's go to 12, see if there's anyone else there. We had a couple of running backs on the list. Don't really need a running back, but wouldn't hurt to have depth. Speaking of depth, let's get another offensive lineman, Graham Buckley. Another hidden. We're cooking, except for that linebacker who was normal, who looked amazing, so I can't really be blamed for the miss, if you will. Any running backs here? We have Booker. Booker might be decent. He was fast, I believe, right? Yeah, speedy. I don't know if speed works, though. I think they're all fast, to be fair. You know what? We're going to take good as well. Why not? Let's take them all. Okay, so he was hidden as well. Never mind. And then I guess I'll take whoever the fastest, best running back is remaining in the 5th and probably trade down for the punter. I was looking for a punter because I actually don't even know what our punter looks like. Don't think our punter's great. Booker's still there. I'm just going to go for whoever's the fastest, I suppose. Cochran, 4.31, but he has decent Excel, whereas Booker is a 4.32 with great Excel. What was the speed on Cochran? Of course, the carrying's a little bit better as well. Great speed, but you can see that decent Excel, which tells me he probably will be slower. But what about Merle? Great speed, great Excel, not as fast. So this is going to be Terrell Booker, who has a pretty cool name in fairness. Normal development trade, but 94 speed, 92 Excel. I usually don't draft running backs often, and when I do, they're definitely not that fast. I usually get one of those trucking backs. It'd be nice to get like a 4th next, a 7th this. Okay, they're going to give us a 6th this. I would like what I just said. How about that instead of whatever you're giving me here? Give me this instead, what I wanted. Well, just, do what I gotta do. All right, that's close enough. You know what, Colts? You've done enough to convince me. They gave me the exact last pick of the freaking 7th round. Oh, my. How do they even have that pick? What do the Eagles do to get to trade with them? I don't even know who the player was, but assuming the punter's still there, that's who our choice is going to be. Greg Boston. B accuracy, B short throw, great kick power, welcome. 95 kick power. I, once again, don't even remember who the hell the punter is here. Is it Hoover? I don't even know. I'm going to check that first. I don't know why that's just important to me. Brad Robbins. Okay, well, Brad Robbins is gone. He's very accurate. I will give him that, but his kick power is kind of bad. Probably doesn't matter too much in sim, but he's replaced anyway, so it's too late. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, what can I tell you? Overalls, 75 for the safety, 72 for the guard, 72 for the outside linebacker, who's just a waste at this point. The center is 72, 70 for the linebacker, 74 for the DT. I mean, not the best overalls, but they're not terrible. I do want to see Good, or Peel, actually his name is, 74 overall to the Buccaneers, and he was actually pretty fast for solid speed. 90 speed, 90 excel, and 93 agility. Hidden development trait is an automatic loss for us, but I guess Brian Branch can play corner. Star dev. Don't know if he's going to play corner just yet, though. I don't know what I want to do, because Brian Branch will be number 3. Isaac, I think, no matter what, is going to be our strong safety going forward. A lot of strength. Zone coverage is a little low, but looks like a strong safety in my book. Going to put him over there. See what that dev is while we're here. Star dev, fair enough. I don't know what linebacker positions we need. I know Mark Madden's going to be a right tackle, so we'll check him as well. He is a very good finesse blocker, which makes him a good tackle, I suppose, or fair enough tackle. Let's move him over there. See what his dev is while we're here. Star dev. It's been a little while since we drafted a hidden or super. Actually, no, we did draft a superstar lineman recently enough, but we just never looked at him because he was just a depth piece, and he was superstar, and we just kind of wasted him. I was about to say, could you imagine another superstar center? That'd be insane. And then Buckley, if there was ever going to be an opening for him, even though he's a little on the undersized part, probably would be left guard. Great pass blocking, kind of gives me tackle vibes, but definitely undersized for tackle. Dev, star dev. It's usually the really late guys that I find that are, better than just regular star. Kevin Pierce, 82 finesse, not bad. Don't know if he gets the start, because Miles Murphy was pretty good, but Miles Murphy as his edge would mean more, I think, because we could put him at backup. I think that might be the call, right? Why did they give me Stingley for nothing? We gave up Pratt for Stingley. I did not expect that to happen. I was just trying to get something for Pratt because we got linebackers that are younger with higher ceilings. And, well, Isaac seems to be a waste because Branch ain't going nowhere, and Awuzie is going to be gone after this season. Stingley does have a little bit better of a head start on DJ Turner, so I guess Stingley stays. Stingley would be the number 3 because Turner's going to be here an extra year no matter what, whereas Stingley, we could end up trading him on his final year of his rookie contract. We'll see, although he does have that first round 5th year option, but we'll see about that. I think as of right now, though, I think Stingley should be the number 3 just because, I don't know, he is a better number 2. It doesn't really matter. We'll just toss of the hat, whatever. Here is the team. The offensive line has downgraded in talent a little bit, but the future of the team is a little bit more secure as we have 3 hidden development trait rookies. And we're moving on to the defensive side of things. New linebacker or 2. It's going to be these 2 guys at the outside. Honestly, Papo, do you not just start one of the other guys? I really like him because he's so fast, but Good is quite literally just as good, and he's a year younger. He's actually not just as good. He is better. I think you have to start him, no? I just don't. Even though I like Papo because of the speed, it just doesn't matter. Good is better. The rest is as you see. That's basically it. I don't know if Osai, I think, needs a contract either this year or the next year. But Kader Kohu, just with the freaking 4th round pick, even if it's in the future, I think that is massively valuable. And you can call it cheese, but I'm going to trade off Kader Kohu right away as well. So unless he's paid up, I think that's the best move. I'm just trying to give value. It's a different type of rebuild. I'm not used to doing this. He does have time still, and he is star. I'm going to see what I can get for him, though. Imagine they offer for Osai, straight up. That'd be crazy. It's here you go. Take those 4th round and whatnot draft picks for free. The offers are pretty significantly worse. Pass rusher just has more value. So Denver, maybe. I think Denver, right? They're in a tough division. There's no way they could do well. 3rd round pick. I mean, we got a 3rd, a 4th, and whatever for Osai pretty much. So, like we said, if anything, we actually made the roster worse this season, yet we are definitely playing better. Yeah, I think we may have made a mistake because we absolutely cannot afford everyone. We might even have more contracts coming up. Daxton Hill's probably payable. Stingley, we're absolutely trading back or trading somewhere because we cannot afford him. There's just no way. As of right now, we're definitely going to be losing minors minimum. And minors are our future. Get the joke? Okay. Rousseau, I don't know how well he's playing, but he's always been very good in Sim, so I'm going to stick it out with him. I do want to take a look at ETN, though, before I decide to stick it out with him, because running back is so random. And example number one, I think we let ETN go, and then we have to make a trade for someone new. I don't know. As far as O-line goes, if I'm paying anyone, it's going to be a low year contract. And then, like we said with Miners, we got to let him go. We can't afford him. All right, if we win this game and the Bills lose, we might actually have the bye week. We beat the Bills in Week 17, and they must have lost again. 2 in a row. Also, the Raiders were on par. This damn AFC, bro, has got to chill. We obviously had a pretty good season. We changed the defense to Dallas, I think, because I was like, you know what? Dallas usually does well in Sim. I don't know what the defensive numbers are going to look like, but it's better than whatever the hell we had the previous year, as where the DTs were the only ones that did anything. Joe Burrow, number 2. Technically a worse season, but still an amazing one. It could be an MVP season again. ETN's going to be gone, likely. Jamar Chase, amazing. Higgins, okay. Charlie Jones, okay. Knox, better. Even though, once again, it's the same exact offensive scheme, maybe just more opportunities because the defense was better. O-line was amazing. 6 sacks allowed. I don't know what the hell's going on. Rousseau with 12 is amazing. Oliver and Pierce, the same as when it was with Oliver and Miles Murphy. Hendrickson better, but still not where we need him to be because of how good he is. Interceptions were decent. Only kick miss was a block. Punter was decent, but technically worse than the other punter, I believe. Kick return, punt return game was Cordero Patterson. Could be our year. Joe Burrow at number 4. Josh Allen at number 1. And then looking at award wins, we had DT, Kevin Pierce winning Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase winning Best Wide Receiver again, and then kicking not the number 1. But either way, we have the bye week. Please don't be the Raiders, because the Raiders are off on some sort of roll. Can't be the Raiders. They're actually like 14-3 as well. But the Ravens, a division rival. We're 2 overalls higher than them. I can't believe they're even this close, to be honest, with the trades we've made, but they are. All right, here we go to the end of the game. Baltimore gets 7, we get 3. They get another, well, they get 3. We tie it up 10 all. Huge drive with a finish of a touchdown. We drive down quickly for the touchdown. Up by 7 at halftime. Chance to win it here. That could be it. Only up by 7. A huge drive again, and the offense is just going to go on an onslaught and win the game 45-24. Joe Burrow, pretty good in this one. Lamar Jackson, not bad either. Rushing, ETN was great. Gotta love when we, we move on from a running back and then they start to cook up in the postseason. Sack totals. Ed Oliver, he may not be going up in overall super well, but he is killing it statistically. Playoffs, he was good last year. Playoffs, he's good this year. Back-to-back seasons with 8+ sacks, which is, pretty good for a defensive tackle. We don't hate that. Travis Etienne, we just talked about, he's now a 90 overall, which is like the time a running back starts to dominate, which is kind of like, well, maybe. Holy crap, he's fast. Was he always like, I thought he was like 93 speed. Did he go up to 95 from just upgrades? That's insane. Championship round, no Raiders. Of course the Raiders. They're 5 overalls lower than us now. Please, EA, don't do it. Don't do it, EA. All right, going to the end of the game. 7-0. 10-0. The Raiders are already doing what they did last year. We can't score on them somehow. Finally a touchdown. Another touchdown. Defense is starting to cook up a little bit, holding them. 21-10. Defense is doing its job. One more touchdown might do it. 35-10, 35-17, and we're headed to the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at their performance. Jimmy Garoppolo not playing that well in this one. Joe Burrow was very good. ETN with a big run, looking pretty good. T. Higgins was great. Where the hell is Jamar Chase in these? 52 yards and a touchdown's okay, but I want him to be the leader. 1.5 for Rousseau. And we are on to the Super Bowl, facing off against either the Eagles or the Cowboys. Gotta love those 2 options. Why couldn't the third be like the Bears or the Cardinals or something? Like, please. And it's the Cowboys. I don't know if I like this or not. I mean, the Eagles did just win the Super Bowl, but I really don't know. Either way, I think you're just at a loss. But let's take a look at the dev-ups if we had any. Knox goes up in dev, which is semi-significant, right? Superstar development trait definitely doesn't hurt for any player, especially a tight end or a running back. Lots of dev-ups on defense, and Stingley becomes harder to trade now because he's got superstar. How do you pay him, though? I don't know how that works. I don't know if we have a way to pay him. Of course, Ed Oliver going to X Factor is ridiculous. Can't believe he's an X Factor of all players. Once again, another block shed type, even though he's done pretty well in the pass rush. Don't know why he never develops in-game, even though he got back-to-back dev-ups for us. Of course, Pierce got the Rookie of the Year award, so he was always going to go up in dev. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to find a way to pay Stingley now, I think. 89 overall, 88 overall Cowboys, the highest overall team we've faced so far. Hopefully the same thing that the Cowboys are saying, because otherwise that means they've beaten someone better than us. 7-0, 7-7. Nice drive for a touchdown. Defense holds. Nice touchdown before half. 24-14, huge drive. They're only down by 3. Touchdown drive is massive. They get the touchdown back. And just like that, Dallas with 7 minutes in the fourth are leading by 4, and the offense is only going backwards. I almost think you have no choice but to go for this. I don't know if I like it, but, I mean, it's a choice, and it's the one I feel we only have. Please, Dawson. Dawson Knox beating Trayvon Diggs for a massive gainer in man coverage. Really good play. All right, come on, Cincy. And they're just not moving the ball. Are they going to go for a field goal? What is the point, though? 4 minutes left. You might not get the ball back, brother. Charlie Jones, not the fastest guy in the world. Get a block from ETN. We'll see what we got. I mean, that was always going to be a curl route. Great route by T. Higgins, and just so dependable in the catch that, I pretty much had to go there. See if we can get it. I mean, I'm pretty much doing this for us, but it is what it is. And they finally get the score. It only took all of our might. And even then, it won't matter because they score in under 3 minutes. This is insane. Bengals defense don't care. They do not care. And that is a good try by Diggs, but not going to get it. And Higgins getting a late hit out of bounds for the massive gainer. You're facing the buddy, this turn around. Either way, we're going to take that as, I mean, it wasn't really unnecessary roughness, but, see what the Bengals want to do on their own. They run the ball. Excuse me, EA, while I throw up in my mouth. They ran the ball. If you see a crazy look, I guess. What is Jamar doing? Jamar had the overlap touch pass to the back of the end zone, and he took the inside leverage after he was already getting beat to the spot. It might be Dawson Knox time to save the day. Please don't choke. Please don't choke. Please don't choke. Now, I'm not talking about Dawson Knox here. I'm kind of talking about me. I'm going to let some of this clock go, I think. Call a timeout at like 15 seconds. Maybe 17 seconds. 20 seconds is good enough. Could have maybe hurried up to the line and like ran the ball or something and then called the timeout, but that didn't come to me till just now. So what do you want? Let's get a slant from Charlie. Who would expect him to be the main? Nobody. That's who. Touchdown, Charlie. We might win a Super Bowl. Year 2 Super Bowl. We might win it. Please do not get a quick score, Dallas. That's why we took as much clock as we could. I mean, look at how far they moved it. To the 41-yard line, imagine. Hello? Why would we not be doing prevent with 2 seconds left? I don't even know if Dak gets it 60 yards, but... Well, he definitely doesn't when he goes 10 yards to the out to Schoonmaker. All right, 45-42, a Super Bowl. And we have won 1 of hopefully 2. We will try 2 more seasons, even if we win the Super Bowl in year 3, just to see if we can become the ultimate dynasty. Like I said, I think 2 Super Bowls out of 3 years is a dynasty. I mean, it's hard enough to win 1 Super Bowl in a decade, let alone 2 in a decade, let alone 2 and a half decade, let alone 2 in a half of a half decade. Whereas looking at the guys, most of this team will still be intact. I mean, I never really planned on keeping Stingley, but it seems like I have kind of no choice because he's a superstar now. I don't know. He's at least going to stay on the roster, I imagine, until next season starts. But if we see that his ask is like 20 mil per year, then it's like, yeah, well, we kind of have no choice but to trade him. But Joe Burrow, a guy that right now, I mean, it's not looking great for them. We'll see if he can win a Super Bowl in real life, but they just always seem to be like, they're like the Cowboys of the AFC. They just fall short. I will say they at least got to the Super Bowl, but they just fall short of winning the big one. I don't know. But they, that's maybe a little rude. Bengals fans like, don't say that. The Cowboys don't get to the Super Bowl anymore. All right, 44 mil. So we're actually not that screwed. And I kind of want to just keep ETN because now he's a 90 overall, and he was a part of the Super Bowl winning squad. 3 or 33. That is hilariously bad because that's 11 mil per. We'll probably be able to get him back for that. There's no way anyone's paying that. And do you not just tag Stingley? I think we can get him for cheaper. I think we can get Dax for cheaper as well. We're going to be losing minors, though. I just don't think the value's there. 85 overall is good, but he's got a lot of spotty blocking anyways. He kind of looks like a rookie just with really high in that stat. Because the rookies, they always got one really, really bad rating, and his pass block and pass block finesse are those kind of bad ratings. Not a bad player by any means, but for the price, especially since it's a red interest, pretty much, 13 mil per year, I don't think we can afford that. I will say, though, I mean, Travis Etienne, it might be hard to get him back because there's not going to be running backs as good as him often at his age, should I say. It's obviously Nick Chubb's here, but 29-year-old, even if he's an X Factor, that is going to drop. I'm going to give him the same offer that I originally offered, which is pretty green, I suppose. I don't imagine he's going to pass on that. This is really hard to pass on because Greg Newsome is asking for probably what Stingley's going to be asking for, yet he is so much better right now. Do you trade off Stingley and keep DJ, or do you trade off DJ, keep Stingley? You would have your two corners for a while. O-line we can draft very easily. I think that might be the play. I think either way, I like the two players we're going for, especially since ETN already existed here. No shot. Thank you. Come on, ETN. Like, get real. 5-year 60 for Newsome's awesome. 3 or 33 is pretty fair for Travis Etienne. It's not long-term. It's good money considering running backs are just not getting paid at all. And we still have 23, 24 mil to spend, which obviously we'll be using on Stingley for the most part. Do want to see if there's any other players, though, that we have to get rid of because we're going to have to pay them and we just can't afford them going forward. Jamar Chase, we should be able to pay him. Trey Hendrickson, we can save a lot of money on, and he has not played well. I might try to find like a proven edge to just straight up one-to-one replace him with, if possible. So I think that's going to be our goal here. And sadly, we can't get rid of Logan Wilson because he is paid, which is why I put him at the number 1 sub spot, because I was hoping he would get a dev up because I felt like we were going to be stuck with him. But yeah, we could use Myles Murphy if we had to. So, Trey Hendrickson not playing that well, I think you trade him off. 30 years old as well. This is kind of his last season in general for us to be elite. And do they just not have green? Because I know he's 30 star, but like surely somebody would have green interest in him, no? Yeah, I don't know how this one makes sense for EA. Trey Hendrickson, Smith, Volson, and a 4th for Will Anderson, who still has a little bit of money in left on the contract, and more importantly, has that 5th-year option, which you obviously pay because he is ridiculous so far. Yeah, I mean, our edge is set again. I gotta tell you, these non-realistic style rebuilds, quite a bit easier to do. Quite a bit easier, which we love to see. Let's move over good. And, well, that's about it. Let's move over good and put him at left out. I don't know what we really need to draft. I mean, future-proofing positions that we won't be able to afford, maybe, I guess? I don't know. That's really all I can think of. All right, so we are entering the draft, and there's 2 solid-looking corners that are 1 to 2. And whether we keep Stingley or not, we're going to have to pay Stingley and then DJ Turner shortly after anyways. So I think we're going to try to get one of these corners, assuming, we can get up there. There's one that's 6'4", who looks really good. And then there's the other corner that's not as tall. I don't think he's even as fast, but he's also very solid looking as well. So we're going to go to that spot and then trade up, because I imagine one of them is going to go before 32. So it ended up costing me a little bit more to get up to 23 from 32, pick 66 and a 6th next year to do so. Rudd went to the Chiefs, which I think is an insane draft pick. 6'4", fast corner for the Chiefs. I suppose Sherman's actually pretty tall too. He's 6'2". A-man coverage, B press, B zone, B catching. Like I said, not as fast, but still fast enough. David Sherman, who is hidden development trait, 91 speed, 95 excel. I will say, though, with those 6'4" corners, they've been hit or miss when it comes to hidden development traits. So you never know. He could be normal, which in this case, we absolutely do not want a normal development trait corner. And then, honestly, the next pick might be Bryce Ward, just because he has the round 1 talent grade. And, I mean, there's a couple other players, maybe like a lineman. I think Garrett Jenkins would be a great pick, or Nails. So we're going to wait for that. I think that's the goal. Go to the second round late, grab that linebacker, even though we really don't technically need him, but the value's there. And then, wait until one of the 2 linemen are remaining, and we're cooking. I'm going to be disappointed, though, if this guy isn't very good. He's a round 1 grade. Come on now. 6'3", 232, very fast. Some pretty good key ratings. Boom. Hidden development trait, so that's already a massive win. See what we want to do with him, and it's a good pick. Do have Owen Papau as well, and maybe another one of the linebackers that, we aren't going to need because we just got this dude. But we want one of the linemen, so show me a lineman. Ramsey was one of the corners I had as well, who looked pretty good. And then it seems like we have another one of those speedy 99 or 98 speed wide receiver types that are UDFA, so we'll probably try to get them in the 5th. And we're still cooking as the linemen are still there. Not many teams really want them, so we get a 4th and a 5th from the Jaguars, which we're probably going to end up trading up with the Commanders, or doing what we can to get to the Commanders, maybe using those picks to grab Nails. And we should be able to get that wide receiver as well, since we have at least 1/5. We have 2/5 now. Let's see if this is good enough. And it was. Maybe even an overtrade. I don't know. We've gotten a lot of great value this draft and this rebuild, really, in general. So I don't really mind too much if we miss out a little bit just to make it quicker. And now that's really all we need. It's all linemen and linebackers, and we've basically got those with this pick with Will Nails. Please be hidden. Nice. Like I said, it's usually the guys that look so clear-cut, can't miss, that are the guys that don't have hidden. So I worry sometimes when we take them, but that worked out. And we're going to be taking Marsh the Speedster. Don't know if we really even need the wide receiver, but I always check them anyways because these types of players are busted. Oops. These players are busted when you find them. 242 with all those elites. Gotta be another one of those types. And he is. Oh my. Maybe even pure athletically the best one we've seen. 99 speed, 98 excel, 98 agility. Usually it's like 98 speed, 99 excel, 97 agility or something. But this dude's got 99 speed with 98. That is really good. Moving on to pick 18 now. And that was the last player we had, so we're going to do the unrealistic thing and trade away the rest of our draft, I think. Maybe grab a 4th, a fullback in the 6th or something. But also, speaking of grabbing a 4th, trying to get a 4th for this, if possible. Somebody should offer it, right? I mean, I guess I'll take a 5th and a 7th next, I suppose. The draft recap, we still have about $40 million to work with, and ooh, that corner is good. 77 overall, the linebacker 75, 74 for the guard, wide receiver. Don't know if he actually will be a superstar, because 70 overall is pretty low. A lot of them are pretty low, though, aren't they? Jumping's ridiculous, though. Athleticism is obviously through the roof, and good enough other ratings, but they obviously are pretty raw. Dev. Nope, it's another one of those superstars. I guarantee then our Texans wide receiver that's like that is also superstar. It just seems like that's the new build this year. Will Nails. We already have a right guard. We don't really need a center, technically. I guess the only chance he would have is maybe left tackle, even though he's tiny. Star development trait, or short, I suppose, not really tiny. David Sherman. Very good man, decent zone, 77 overall. This makes things tough to decide on because we have Newsome. I really think you trade Stingley. I really do. I honestly do, and you put this guy at number 2. Stingley's good, but we got to pay him. This corner is brand new. He's a first rounder as well, so we can do the 5th-year option. I am curious, though, to see what Rudd looks like. Oh, my lord. Nope, that's the wrong guy, actually. Bost. Never mind. Rudd was not him. Rudd was, well, I guess he's 78 overall anyways. Faster than our guy. Also hidden. Literally can't be worse than our guy, and the fact that he's 6'4" makes him tremendously better. This is a bad, what's his dev? Okay, it is only star as well, but still. Yeah, I think you trade Stingley. He's only like an 82, 83 overall anyways, so it's not like we're losing a huge drop-off. Reed stays at the number 3, and, with that rating, probably ends up staying that value of a number 3 as well. And Stingley at this point could still be worth quite a bit. I mean, he's at least a first-round pick, I'd imagine. Oh, damn, he's actually an 85 overall. I didn't notice that. I don't want to lose him. Can I, take a peek at the re-signings? You used to be able to, but I guess that would mean we would get rid of DJ Turner, who I may have called Taylor at some point. Where's the re-signs? Re-sign players, let's see. Of course, it could change as time goes on, but 5-year 53. The problem with that is it's not a bad contract, but it's a red interest, so we don't know how much that's going to cost. Daxton Hill is at least cheap. Yeah, I mean, you got to tag Will Anderson, 5th-year option him. Probably let Miles Murphy go or trade him the following year. I think we can barely afford this, right? No, maybe not. That's 30. That's 40 total. Daxton Hill. Yeah, we got to trade Stingley. We have no choice. Unless there's some other player making a lot that we can get rid of, but I'm pretty sure there's not going to be. We got to get rid of Stingley. All right, we kind of broke the game again. Stingley for Asante Samuel, 1-to-1. I think Stingley is a higher dev, but Samuel just got paid. And depending on how much guarantee, yeah, we cheesed him. We absolutely cheesed him. He might fit better as a number 3 corner anyways. He's got really good zone, but no man coverage, which is like the opposite of what we have. I think I don't know, I guess he'll play the number 2, and then Sherman will play number 2 next season, and he'll move to number 3, and we just have like the best corner group in the league by a mile. But yeah, we cooked up another pretty busted trade. Season 3, here's the team. We've kept it intact as much as possible. The right guard's new, but he was here last season, so we didn't really protect the future of this offensive line as well as the previous years, but I suppose the left guard has got 2 years. The rest of these guys all have a 2 to 4 years. Left tackle still has like 2+ years. We can't release him. He's got that guarantee pretty much, so kind of screwed there. And then looking at the other players, wide receivers are signed up, or Jamar Chase will be at least. Running back signed up. Burrow still has money. Knox still has a few years. I mean, offense is almost basically all paid up. And then defensively, a lot of players are also already paid up. And I mean, this team's in a really good spot, and we already just won the Super Bowl, so we'll see what happens. We got maybe even a better pass rusher this season going forward with Will Anderson, as Trey Hendrickson really wasn't performing anyways, and he's obviously 30-star. 41 mil, Jamar Chase is obviously a guy that you just cannot lose. So 5-year, 143. Really? I thought he was going to take that straight up first try, no worries. And then, of course, Daxton Hill. Please don't ask for too much. Noise. And we obviously got rid of Stingley, so we were smart to do that. As you can obviously see, we would not have been able to afford him. Jamar Chase, we'll have to offer slightly more. All right, a really rough start into a very good finish gives us another bye week. Gonna hit this trench boost real quick. Surprised we're only a 90 overall. I have the same sliders on I have for most rebuilds. And, well, I mean, that's really basically it. Same scheme and all. I'll show you guys that, we have the same scheme that we were rocking. The Bengals offense with the Dallas defense. And we'll see if there's an improvement with Will Anderson. Pretty much the same kind of season-ish. But, with the bye week at least. So a little bit worse than last year, kind of, but technically better in hopefully stats. As, once again, Will Anderson, I'm hoping was better than Trey, because Trey was terrible, but it might just be the scheme, focusing on that one side of the line. Joe Burrow, 39 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, so less interceptions, which is an improvement. Travis Etienne, definitely better. Jamar Chase, really good again. Charlie Jones, way better than Higgins. Higgins disappeared, and then Knox went back to being, mid again. O-line, still really good. Rousseau with 11.5, 9 for Oliver, 8 for Pierce, and then 6 for Anderson, so that right end spot just doing nothing. Greg Newsome, 5 interceptions. Once again, if this doesn't prove the sack totals right now, because we're on Dallas' defense, if this doesn't prove that schemes play that much of a factor, I don't know what does. I really don't. Kicking 10 of 11. Boston was really good punting. Kick return, punt return game, pretty, tame, basic stuff. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. MVP goes to Lawrence, so the AFC is just still cooking up those awards. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Jamar, so he took the whole freaking offensive award. Joe Burrow, number 2. Running back, number 10. Jamar Chase at number 1. O-line, not on the list. D-line at number 8 and 10. Linebacker, not on the list. DB Greg Newsome is now a superstar, maybe X Factor, depending if that gives him superstar, and then the pick total gives him X Factor, which would be an insane signing, stolen from the division rivals who didn't even make the playoffs. I mean, you kind of want to keep your star cornerstone pieces, no? Either way. The Titans, 84 overall, we beat them once. Let's do it again. And we're going to the end of the game. The Titans drive down for 3. We drive down for nothing. We get the stop. We drive down for 6, missing the extra point. We drive down again. Maybe went for 2, didn't get it, or another missed extra point. Got the touchdown, got the extra point. Now up by 6 after a touchdown for them. We got a touchdown. It's up by 12. Entering the 4th, up by 5. The Titans have a chance. They're going to take the lead, but it's only by 1, going for 2. It looks like they have the ball. They're driving. 3rd and 5, we don't get the stop. It's looking bad. 3rd and 4, that's a first down. Super Bowl into the divisional round loss by the Titans. What a sell. 3 touchdowns passing, but the rushing numbers, they had 3 of them. ETN was all right. We just didn't run the ball enough, and Baker Mayfield rushing for them. We lost a Baker Mayfield-led team. Michael Thomas, literally retirement squad, and we lost. EA can't code a game. They just can't code a video game at all. They just can't do it. But either way, I suppose we will go to the final season. That is so disappointing. Gotta love it. Joe Burrow with an upgrade point. He's almost 99. Might as well go strong. Huh? What does it say? Bucket. Oh yeah, the stupid bucket thing. Whatever. Enjoy your game, EA. Love you. It's the Falcons versus the Colts, so some pretty easier teams than we had to face to get all the way in and win, but sweet winner is the Colts. AFC just cooking up some wins, even though the Eagles did win the first year. Team salary is not what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at the team roster. Want to see what dev-ups we may have had. Probably none on offense, but several on defense, I'm guessing. Maybe even star straight to X Factor for our new cornerback. 5 superstar plus wide receivers, which is great. Obviously, we already knew that. Newsome got to superstar, not X Factor. Pierce, I think all these guys are already superstars. So, did we think someone else was going to go up in dev? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, as Newsome gets his dev up because of Best DB award, which is great. Thought maybe he would have went to X Factor because of the 5 interceptions in general, but didn't. Going to re-signings. Might still have to replace linebacker, even if we have to pay Logan Wilson. Kind of a contract we might just be stuck with, but not the best talent anymore to be actually starting. Got a lot of linebackers, though, so we might already have the replacement in place. 5th-year option, obviously, for Will Anderson. And then, even though it's not bad for Myles Murphy, I think you just trade him straight up and, be done with it. 34 mil with potentially slightly more trading off Myles Murphy. We could spend a little in free agency since the last season anyways, but I don't know if there's going to be anyone worthy of going for. I mean, we could maybe upgrade the line for 1 year or something like that, or DT, but I don't think it's really worth it. I think I want to keep this team going as long as possible, even if we're only going to see 1 season of it, or 1 more season of it. Really weak free agency class, though, outside of, the slight few numbers at the top, but most of them are old anyways. So, yeah, definitely a little bit of a weak class, but free agency, that's just been the way it is this Madden. And then, honestly, since the last year, do we not just, maybe go full balls to the wall and just, I don't know, trade some draft picks to make the roster better? But honestly, at this point, other than, a super, super proven running back, I don't know if there's much we can improve on from this roster. It's already really good. I like it. Linebacker, maybe, a proven number 1, because Darden's actually developed really poorly, actually. He's played really poor. His development sucks. Ward's already basically better than him. Maybe we go for a true blue proven linebacker. And we're going to do it. Darden and Abrams with a 1st and 4th round pick for joke. 88 overall. Might drop down a little bit when actually moved to middle linebacker, but as an X Factor who has been paid a few seasons, maybe 2 or 3 more on his list, his record here, being paid, I think is a super steal for us, and he's going to be our new middle linebacker. That is probably our biggest positional need. I didn't really realize how slow these, youngster linebackers that we've gotten have been developing, so good to have him on the list. I don't know, maybe the restructure is a good idea, actually, but we're not going to do that anyways. And, kind of need to skip the draft because there's not really much we need at this point. Maybe push the draft picks for the future, as we don't really need anything this season. Maybe I just go in and draft some line backups or something. I don't know. Backup DT, lineman, edge wouldn't hurt, I suppose, because we're going to be trading off Murphy. Could even trade Murphy for maybe a 1st round pick. I don't know. He's He's an edge rusher that's young with decent ratings, so maybe. I swear the Eagles stay winning in this game. I had to give up all of this just to get their pick 44 in the second round for Myles Murphy. Maybe I could have kept him just because, we're final year, keep the good depth, but I'm going to draft someone new, I think, anyways. Or maybe, you know what, we trade for someone younger, maybe. That'll be the move. Screw the draft. Final year anyways. Let's get the best possible team. We'll get a really solid, 85 overall edge rusher that's like a backup level, like Tyree Wilson, which would make no sense at all. Sweat, maybe? Good from the Eagles, ironically enough. I don't know what monstrosity this rebuild has become, but we now have Aiden Hutchinson. That's all I can say. We have now the greatest defensive line ever assembled. At least edge rush-wise, specifically. All right, the Season 4, a.k.a. finale team did not win a Super Bowl last year, so this is our last chance to become that dynasty. 2 Super Bowl wins in 3 years. The roster is as good as ever. The defense has a new leader in Joke, a deeper edge rush with Aiden Hutchinson, and just overall the best roster in the league without a singular doubt. Let's see if we can get back into that Super Bowl conversation and maybe even win it. We got 44 mil. Charlie Jones is definitely a cap casualty type of guy. Branch isn't that expensive. Landon Dickerson might be a cap casualty person at this point. Turner's not a bad contract, but cornerback seems to be an issue that we don't have. Brian Branch, we're still going to try to get back, obviously. Orlando Brown would be replaced for sure, especially with the age. The money isn't great. It's definitely not great, but as you can see, the future isn't really like we don't have to sign anyone, it seems. Or the fifth-year options are just gone, and we do have to sign a lot. Dawson Knox, it's not easy to get a tight end of his level, but do you really want to do more than a 2-year? Probably not. A 2-year 26? Maybe you do have to replace him. So I'm glad that this is the last season, because it kind of seems like the team's going to be taking a step back here. So we had ourselves a pretty good season, almost going undefeated, which I like to see. I like to see that we lost to the Colts of all teams, but I like to see that our hard work to get this roster where it is, so hard doing these trades, it actually is paying off. We actually have a good roster, and our record is reflectant of that. Looking at Joe Burrow's numbers, very accurate, might be MVP. Travis Etienne, probably a dev up. Jamar Chase was great. T. Higgins is okay. Charlie Jones been pretty good. Knox, not bad. Blocking, a little bit worse this year, we'll admit. D-line, the DTs continue to be like the number ones. Will Anderson and Rousseau. Will Anderson, not bad, but Rousseau, not the greatest. This team's not really using its edge rush talent at all. Kicking was great. Punting was pretty good. This is a really good season. One of the better ones we've seen in all of our Madden 24 start so far on the Madden season. Joe Burrow, number 4. I don't know how that's number 4, but sure. Joe Burrow, number 1 quarterback, but not MVP and all that. Okay. Jamar Chase, wide receiver 1. Graham Buckley, the O-line of the year. So he's a superstar, which is great. We even got a kicker on the list. Could he go to X Factor? Don't think that's how it works, but deserving. Of course, gets the bye week, so going on to the divisional. Don't be the Titans. It's the Broncos. We have them by almost 10 overalls. It is very hard in the last couple of Maddens to be higher than 10 overalls on another team. It's snowing. Things are crazy. So the fact that we're 9 overalls up on them, the Raiders back on top of the world, is pretty impressive. So let's see if we can meet the Raiders in the championship round. Looks like we were on defense first. We get another good stop. They get 3. We still only have 7. We have 14 now. 14-10. This game's a lot closer than it probably should be with the talent levels. 28-17, 35-17. It was a weird kind of slow burn game, and then we started to pick it up a little bit in the fourth quarter, and either way, it was a win. Joe Burrow was amazing. Travis Etienne was good enough. Bunch of help from a bunch of different players. Charlie Jones has been killing it. Sack totals, just their side pretty much. We had a combined sack. Joke with a pick. Love that. Makes it feel a little bit better and smarter that we traded for him. We already know it's the Raiders. The Raiders have given us some troubles. We are still 8 overalls higher than this team now. Some of their kind of cornerstone pieces might be a little bit lower of an overall now, as time has passed a bit. Dallas and Minnesota on the other side. I kind of have a feeling of which team this is going to be. But let's sim to the end and see if we can even meet one of those teams. The Raiders driving down decently. They drive down again. We stop them each time, but our offense is doing nothing. We get the first points of the game even then. Now 14-0 at halftime. This defense is looking kind of elite. 21-0. 21-0 still. And a perfect not shutout right at the end. The Raiders get a touchdown. Not a great offensive performance at all, though, as Joe Burrow had 0 interceptions, but it still felt like they played badly. Tyler Huntley was their quarterback, and that might be the only reason why we're even headed to the Super Bowl right now, because that is maybe the worst starting quarterback I've seen make the championship round in some time in Madden. Like, he has, like, no throw power. His accuracy's all right, I'd imagine. Got that speed, though. But, yeah, I don't imagine that a lower overall than that making the championship game in sim often. So maybe those Raiders playbooks are pretty busted. But either way, Super Bowl, if it's the Vikings, which it's not, I would have been shocked. Let's take a look at whatever dev-ups we had and go into... That's not what I wanted. Go into the Super Bowl, see if we can become that dynasty. Either way, it's obviously been a success, proving once again that the trades, which I did have it on the normal one. I don't even know where the hell the setting is. Where is it? It's got to be in the next one. Normal difficulty. There you go. You can test all the trades out you want as well yourself, and they'll all go. Let's see our team. If we had any dev-ups, ETN should have been one, but we'll see if that's the case. Did not go up in dev. Everyone else, Buckley obviously went up in dev. Pierce goes up in dev, and Asante Samuel also goes up in dev, which is busted because I'm pretty sure we traded for him after he got paid. So we have 2 superstar corners for the next 3+ years. Rousseau is not the guy we were looking at. It was Pierce, who actually had a pretty good... I don't understand why that does that. I really, why does it just click over? You got to be really slow with it, because sometimes it just clicks back over. Pierce, 93, finesse move, X Factor now. The DTs are busting out. Don't know what that means, but sure. Let's go against this Dallas Cowboys team. It's probably pretty formidable overall-wise. I mean, not really. 7 overalls less, but it's the Cowboys in sim, so we'll see. Going to the end of the game, Dallas Cowboys driving down, don't get anything. It looks like they got the ball back after a punt or something. It's now 6-0, 6-3, 13-3, 20-3. This game has got to get off the Cowboys' nuts, bro. You have got to be kidding me. They are all over that junk. Oh my god, they ride that star. Every single point of that star has been inside of them. It is insane, dude. I'm just going to sim without being in the game. It's not going to matter. It's 37-10 with this squad. How, EA? Give me a good example. Even against the Chiefs, the Eagles got punched in the mouth in the Super Bowl last year, yet they still made it a lot closer than 37-10, right? The Eagles got kind of shocked. It was whoa, they're running the ball on the Eagles, and they're doing all these things against the Eagles? How is that even possible? We lost anyways. Who gives a damn? How is that even possible? But yet, they still competed, because they had just that much roster talent, right? So I just don't know how you sim the best overall team in the league a 37-10 loss. I just don't get it. Of course, I can kind of see why they won't let us upgrade Burrow anymore, even though he literally has points to upgrade. Another glitch, I guess, amongst many. 85 speed, 86 excel. Is that normal, or is that because he got a bunch of upgrades? Either way, basically 99 everything but play rec or play action and throw power, which I will say throw power is a massive upgrade to point to not have 99. So kind of a disappointing development of Joe Burrow, to be honest. 89 throw power, you would have thought it would have been a little bit higher than that just because of how many upgrades he had there, but guess not. Travis Etienne never got the trucking up, never got the dev up, which this latest season, I really thought he would have gotten it. Jamar Chase, another 99 everything kind of player. This is a little bit more close to 99, though, because at his respective position, this is top 1% easily, whereas Joe Burrow not top 1%, right? Like I would say Mahomes, Allen, maybe Lamar at this point, Herbert perhaps, Lawrence, because of the throw power, would be better, options. Charlie Jones, even though we're not going to keep him anymore, he does have that morale, which kind of, changed him a little bit. The release is really what he's lacking. Route running's good enough. Catching's really good. Let's take a look at T. Higgins now, who kind of disappeared a lot of times, right? It was like Charlie Jones did really well, and T. Higgins just kind of fell off, but very good release, good enough route running, amazing catching. And then we'll look over at Mr. Dawson Knox, who was good enough, right? Nothing crazy, good enough at tight end, fast enough, pretty good route running, good enough catching. And then looking at the offensive line, is there anyone we want to look at here? Landon Dickerson. Yeah, I don't really care. It's the offensive line. Who cares? They actually did develop, though, which is good. Let's take a look at Ward, who is an 84 overall, 91 speed, 90 excel, great block shed, okay zone coverage. So he's actually developed pretty well for an outside linebacker. Typically, you need to be like a middle linebacker with field general as your main archetype to be like good at both styles. Really good coverage, but not great block shed. Proving our point once again, as he was not a field general archetype. Let's take a look at Brian Branch, the 85 overall, who is 25. We ended up getting that contract in the end, of course. 83 zone coverage. His archetype can't be zone. It is zone. Okay. Interesting. Maybe he just got that because it's, literally tied. But Daxton Hill not really developing in this one. No zone coverage. He's a hybrid build, which is a super L for safety. Let's take a look at Greg Newsome now with 94 overall. Zone coverage is good enough. Really good man, though. Great press. Fast, obviously. He's a problem. I've always had troubles thrown against him in Madden Sim. I am, honestly... playing against the AI, even against users, have had more troubles with him than usually Denzel Ward. I don't know if it's the height, whatever, but he's always been a problem for me. David Sherman, 23 years old, amazing man coverage, best trio of corners in the league by a considerable margin. Then looking at Edge Rousseau, who was not great throughout this, 99 power move though. It might have just been because he was left end and Dallas' scheme doesn't like left end, I guess. I don't know. Will Anderson, 93 overall, great finesse. Block shed's not great, but insane athlete. And then we'll look at the DT. I'm really curious to see Ed Oliver because he got to a 91, but I bet you he still sucks. Nah, his block shed's pretty good. Usually Ed Oliver's a guy that gets a higher overall than any of his block shed or power move ratings, but he actually is pretty good here. It only took him being a superstar year 1 and then an X Factor year 2 to get to that point, though. Usually he's stuck in like the low 80s. Pierce, 94 finesse, 80 block shed. He's ridiculous. Let's take a look at McPherson. Obviously, he just got kicker of the year on top of it, so he's got to be pretty much max for a kicker. And pretty much 97 kick power, 97 accuracy. I've seen better upgrades manually, though, so I don't know if they're just going with like accuracy archetype or something. Yep, that's the reason. So you always want to go power. I think that proves it because we've had, literally with our punter and our Bears franchise, a +3 to kick power for the punter, which I don't know if you guys even seen yet. But if you follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, you might have seen it a couple days back, a couple weeks back. I don't even remember when that was. Time goes by so quick when I'm just on the grind. I don't know, dude. It's just... days go by so quickly these days. That's all I can tell you. But anyways, that is pretty much going to be it. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you like these style of rebuilds, maybe we'll mix one in every once in a while where it's more of a fantasy style. I think it would fit a little more with teams that are really, really bad or really, really good. Not teams that are kind of in the middle of the park like... I don't know, maybe like the Lions, perhaps. I think the Lions would be kind of like a middle-of-the-park team, in my opinion. Not very good, definitely not very bad. I just feel like those types of teams deserve a real rebuild rather than, some random sim rebuild where I'm like, or some unrealistic rebuild where I'm just trading crazy. Just because, like, the really good teams, do they really need a rebuild? Probably not. So we can try to make a dynasty out of just, like, trading for a bunch of crazy players. Speaking of, this guy's actually pretty good. This guy's kind of good, but yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. If you guys have any other teams you'd like to see or challenge rebuilds you'd like to see in the future, let me know in the comment section below. We obviously have a bunch of different wheel spin ideas, but maybe there's something I haven't thought of and you guys have. You guys have given me a couple of good ideas in the past, so maybe we can get back to that. Like I said, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate continued support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. Been slacking a little bit over there, but, you know, the views haven't been great on it, so, I mean, kind of just focus on the main channel at this point. You know, don't want to upload if you guys don't want to see it. You know, it's just kind of a waste for everyone. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video, but until next video, see ya!